And this guy walks up to me. He's like, "Dude, I met you at Sky Bar in Auburn. You were changing the words to Big Green Tractor to Big Dally Whacker. That was hilarious, dude. I'm Matt McKinney." And I was like, "Dude, I'm Trey Lewis." And
yeah. So I saw that you're in Nashville now, originally from Alabama, though, correct?
Yeah, I live in Nashville, and I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama. I've been up here for about 3 years now.
Oh, cool. What part in Nashville? I'm in the Nashville area, I should say.
I live out in Hermitage.
Oh, okay. We're south down.
Yeah.
Isn't it like, is it northeast, or am I thinking?
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I couldn't tell you, man.
Okay, yeah, I'm not very familiar. I know I've heard of the area, so I was just curious. Yeah, I'm further south down by near Franklin area.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's out by like Percy Priest and all that stuff. So.
Oh, okay, rad.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, I'm like in between Percy Priest and Old Hickory, so it's like right in that.
Rad. Yeah, two things that stood out to me is one was you're in Nashville, and two is that you're sober, and so am I. So I thought that was rad.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you go to the 12-step classes, or
I actually started.
Quit? Yeah,
I quit. Well, it was a whole thing. So I went through the whole, like the treatment shit, and then then did the classes, then actually stopped going to the classes for a while. I mean, I started going back again recently. So I never did like the work, so to speak, which is kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
thing in itself.
I got sober when I was 19 and went to sober living and lived there for 6 months. And, I got a sponsor and did the whole work the steps. And, I went to meetings every day for like the first few years of my sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
And then I trimmed it back to like one, 3 a week or something like that. But when I moved to Nashville, I went a pretty good bit, but then COVID happened. And then, so I'm just not the type of person that's really going to do a Zoom meeting just because I just think I don't know. I'm just not really into it, So I just didn't do, I maybe did a couple of Zoom meetings, but I don't know. I guess COVID helped me realize that it's okay to not go,
Mm-hmm.
but I still go periodically, just when I feel like I need to. There's a group not far from my house. They have a meeting in the morning and I can just pop in there and it's real easy. I think the biggest thing for sobriety and that, the 12-step fellowship is the being around like-minded people and, that share a common bond,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, sometimes it's important for me to go back and be there. But the biggest thing that I learned from doing all that is giving back and helping others. And that's I've found other ways to do that, through my music and just through just being a good friend, to people, or somebody needs somebody to talk to, or, whatever. So
I like that. That's rad. Yeah, I've went actually the past 4 weeks. I just started going. There's a men's meeting by my house too. I was like, what the hell? I'll go there and hang for an hour, and it actually went last night. It
makes you feel good, man.
Yeah, you leave and you're like, oh, that was, I feel good.
Yeah.
Even if for anyone, even if they weren't an alcoholic or whatever, it's just kind of a therapeutic session. You're like, okay, all these people are talking about a bunch of crap, and then
it's like going to church or something,
right? Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Do you sponsor guys at all, or just check?
I don't I used to.
Okay.
Honestly, I just don't have the time.
Right.
I feel like if I know, for me, my sponsors, that I've had in the past, I still have my sponsor in Alabama, and when we talk, some weeks we'll talk a lot, and then we'll go a while without talking. It just depends on really what's going on with me. But I just feel like, if I'm going to sponsor somebody and they're a newcomer, like a early on newcomer, if I was them, I'd want to see my sponsor going to meetings and, you know what I mean? And like,
yeah,
doing all that. And with my hectic schedule, I'm just not going to be around, you know what I mean? So,
sure.
But you know, that's the thing is like, I have, you know, and I've prayed about it, and I just had to get God to like, you know, give me other ways to give back other than just that kind of service, you know?
Sure.
And when I put out my song "A Little Tired" a few months ago, we made T-shirts, and for that song, and when we sell them, we give I think it's like $15 of the shirt goes to this place called Turning Point. It's down in Alabama. It's a treatment center for men. My sponsor actually works there, so
oh, that's awesome.
you know, it's just like cool things like that we've been able to do for me to give back. You know,
that's really awesome.
In a way.
Really awesome. I didn't mean to turn this into an AA meeting, but I was just curious.
Cool.
You know?
Cool. Yeah.
I just noticed with like the first couple things on your Instagram, I was like, oh, that's rad. And then like when I did some more diving into your story, I thought that was super cool.
It's definitely part of who I am, so I don't mind talking about it, you know.
Cool.
I feel like AA is what gave me the ability to speak, if that makes sense.
For sure. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, you're talking to people in a group setting that you never know. I mean, it's so that in itself is kind of a thing, right? A lot of people, like for me, that's like the hardest thing was like, okay, I don't really want to talk. Like, I don't want all the eyes on me right now. And like, there you're kind of forced into it.
Yeah. And it's just like the first time you ever share in a meeting, you know, you're scared shitless and it doesn't really make any sense. But so it's just practice, and you're sharing about something that you're passionate about. So I just kind of took that and I applied that to everything else in my life. Like, and two, like I believe that I'll say AA because that's where I went, but I believe that everything I went through in that prepared me for the rest of my life, music career, whatever. You know, when I first started going to meetings, I would, you know, kind of sit in the back and not talk to anybody, you know. And if I saw somebody coming my way, I'd pull up my phone and walk away, you know, like acting like I had something going on, even though there was nobody there. And that's like you know, but the more I showed up and the more that I did the work, I started to feel a part of, you know what I mean, of what was going on there. And that was my, you know, attitude when I moved to Nashville. When I moved here, you know, I was 30 years old. I just went through a divorce. I was playing covers for 4 nights a week, 4 hours straight just to make a living. And I wanted to move here to learn how to write songs better. And a big part of doing that in Nashville is going out to, you know, bars and meeting people and, you know, et cetera. So there was many nights where I walked, you know, I, you know, walked into the bar and, you know, shook some dude's hand that I met for the fucking 10th time, you know what I mean? But he was too drunk to remember, or he just met so many people, you know, that's just kind of part of it. And, you know, I would try to have conversations with people and I would just be talking to them and their response would be, you know, like, they were so drunk. I was just like, tonight's not my night. It's time for me to go home. But you know what? I'll dust myself off and I'll try again tomorrow, you know, and I'll just keep showing up and keep showing up. And then I just kept doing that. And then all of a sudden, you know, I had friends, and then, you know, it's pretty cool to me how I got sober to not just to save my life, but I got so much more out of it. And it taught me so many life skills that I just, not that I was raised wrong, I just couldn't, you know, grasp that. It took what it took, you know, me going where I got, you know, to get where I'm at now, you know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And like I was saying, like, you don't have to be like an addict or whatever to appreciate or even utilize the 12 steps that there are. Right. I mean, it's definitely, it's just like a moral, like your own inventory kind of going through stuff.
Yeah. I got a therapist now. So that's kind of like my newest thing that I've been doing is, I've been going to see a therapist every 2 weeks, man. And it's been great. Just, checking in, because a lot of stuff has happened in the last, you know, year and a half, 2 years. That's been just absolutely insane. So, it's been a good thing for me just to kind of go there and have somebody to talk to and just kind of work through all my stuff, you know?
That's great. That's great. I'm glad you found somebody like that. And no,
Yeah.
that's a hard thing to find in itself, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a whole process. But real quick, so Birmingham, Alabama, that's where you were born and raised.
Yeah.
Were you born like, or your parents musical at all? Like, did you come from a musical household or?
Uh, my mom loves karaoke. She has a big
Oh,
elaborate
rad.
karaoke machine. My uncles play guitar, my Uncle Fudd and Uncle Bobby. And as a kid, we would have, we went to the beach every year. We'd have like get-togethers, and they would play guitar and drink beer and like all that stuff. And then mom would sing karaoke. My parents divorced when I was like 3, and then
Okay.
my mom got remarried, and so I had a stepdad and a biological dad. And I went to my dad's house on the weekends, and um, you know, so my mom had her karaoke thing, and my dad like really loved like the '90s country, like Clint Black and stuff like that. So I mean, I think music was always there, but I never like, I don't know. I think as a child, like I wanted to be Garth Brooks, because he was
Mhm.
huge. He did that big concert in New York, and it was like on TV, and that was like super cool. Um, and I always loved, just country music. Um, but then, as I got older, I feel like when I got into my drug addiction, that kind of stuff, and that was at an early age. That was at like 13. Kind of all
Mhm.
those kind of dreams kind of just kind of like went away. But when I got sober, I picked up the guitar, and I don't know. I know I'm rambling on,
No,
but
no, no. This is great.
but
This is what it's
you
about.
know,
No one cares what I
um,
have to say.
when I got older, and I got sober, and I picked up the guitar, I played that first chord, and I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Hmm.
And that was just kind of from there on out. I played music, but I mean, as a kid, I always loved music, and but I didn't have like any like family members that were like, other than my uncles like playing music and my mom doing karaoke. My grandmother, my dad's dad, I didn't know her well. She died when I was like 7, but she was really big into like theater, and she was like she sang and danced at the Alabama Theater, which is pretty historical building there in Alabama, and it's a special place. My dream is to play there one day. So
Oh, yeah, that
um,
was my next question. If you had a chance to perform there yet?
yeah, I haven't got to play there yet, but I have like my hometown. I sold out this place called Zydeco. It's like it's kind of a rundown bar, and but like a lot of musical acts come through there. I mean, I saw Chris Stapleton play there for 138 people. Yeah,
Whoa.
before he was like really huge, but I knew who he was.
Right.
Being a songwriter and an artist. I mean, that guy was on YouTube way before he was ever on the CMAs, and
Hmm.
he was in a bunch of different bands. But I saw him there. I mean, Dirk Bentley played there. Like there's been all kinds of people play there, and Zydeco was kind of like a home for us musicians. But a lot of the time we would play there, and it was a ticketed event, and we wouldn't sell enough tickets, so we would have to play downstairs on the pub stage, for 10 people.
Oh, there was
The
a
show
like
would get,
a if you didn't
yeah,
sell
there's like
certain,
a,
you couldn't level up to like
yeah, there
or
was like a bar downstairs,
tier
and
system.
yeah, and then in December, after the song came out, we booked a show there, and we sold it out. It was ass to elbows in there, so it was really cool. And then we played at this place called Avondale Brewery, which I'd played there like years before, and there wasn't a lot of people there. I think I played there for free for like a benefit.
Hmm.
And then there was like 800 people there on a summer night to see me play. We recorded it with video and everything, man. It was awesome. And then just this last December, we played at this place called Iron City. I opened for David Nell there. I opened for John Party, Chris Jansen there. Uh,
Wow.
I played. They had like a restaurant they have a restaurant on the other side of the venue. I played with. I played in there one night, and then Kane Brown played in there the next night. It was before he was like on the radio, but it's like a it's like a
Wow.
1200 it's like a 1,200 cap room, and that
Hmm.
was like 6 years ago. And I don't know, man. It's just a lot of full circle moments in the last year, and but to play at Iron City, man, that was awesome.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Yeah. Well, getting sober, and you said 19?
19.
19. Yeah. So is that when you started playing guitar? I mean, you said after you got sober.
So yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I went to sober living, and I was there for 6 months, and then I got a job making smoothies. And at 6 months sober, I made amends to my dad. Me and my dad kind of have a strained relationship through my drug addiction. Mm-hmm. And then I moved in with my dad. I hadn't lived with my dad since I was like 3 years old. Oh, and wow. Me and him got like really, really close. And but anyways, one day I was like, I'm going to take my paycheck and go buy a guitar. And I told my grandfather about it. He was like, I'll pay for half. That way, you'll still have some money to kind of get around. And I bought a guitar, and he bought one. I mean, he helped me pay for half of it. Mm-hmm. And I started playing music from there on out. But I had a guy, I ended up started sponsoring people in the program, and I had a guy, he was in a band, and he wanted to bring me up here to Nashville to kind of like be a sober companion or like his friend. It was just I came up here to Nashville with that guy, and his producer was like, hey man, play me something on guitar. And I just played him like this song that I wrote, but he really liked my voice. Mm-hmm. He was like, man, I want to record some songs with you. And that just kind of started the whole thing, like me driving back and forth to Nashville. I would record songs and then drive back. And then I just kind of knew, I ended up going back. I dropped out of high school and all this stuff. I ended up going back and get my GED, and I was taking some college classes and stuff like that. But I just knew that I wanted to do music. And the guy that owned the studio, his name's Wes Shaw, he invited me to come up to Nashville and live on his couch for a little while. And we like recorded an album. And then around the time I had met this girl, and so I moved back to Birmingham, and which I have a song called Back to Birmingham. It's an old song. But anyways, I moved back to Birmingham, and like I got married, and just started playing gigs, started playing shows around, Birmingham. Like I played this restaurant, probably, I don't know, it's probably the size of this room, maybe 2 of these rooms, mm-hmm. was small, but I played there every Friday and Saturday night for like 3 years. And then I wanted to venture out, and I started playing Mexican restaurants. And then from there, I started playing, I started a band and started playing little pubs and stuff, and started playing frat parties and, like weddings and, all that kind of thing, and just started making a living. And then, after I finished my record, I was like, okay, and then when I could afford it, I would, put more music out and stuff like that. And then I went through, man, I just had like a, when I was like 26, my dad died. And I was like 7 years sober. And then like right after that, I had just like a strain of like terrible events happen. Like my grandmother passed away. My stepdad that helped raise me passed away. Oh, and it was just like a lot of trauma back to back to back. And then I went through my divorce. And I was just like, I don't know, I was making a living playing music, so I had figured that out, how to do that. But something was still missing, and I was like, I think Nashville is the move. Like, I'm going to move to Nashville, and I'm going to learn how to write songs better. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, I was driving in my van one day, and I was just like, God, if all you want me to do is just write songs and play cover songs for a living, that's cool. But like, wouldn't it be cool for me just to have like a little bit of success, And, mm-hmm. And then all the Dick
right?
and then, a few months later, all the Dick Down in Dallas stuff happened,
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
So were you playing it like down in downtown Nashville, like Broadway and everything?
I wasn't doing Broadway. I was doing what me and my buddy call Broadway on the road. We were playing basically doing Broadway stuff, but just out on the road. We were still, traveling from city to city. And like I did a lot of the, if you ever heard of Tin Roof, there's Tin Roofs all over the Southeast and everywhere. Mm-hmm. We would go play Columbia, South Carolina, Raleigh, Myrtle Beach, do like a 4-day run of that, drive mm-hmm. back. We would go to Statesboro, Georgia, like Tuscaloosa, Auburn, all that stuff, you know, and hit those college markets, because like Broadway's cool and all, but if you can get into some of these college markets, you can get frat parties and you can get weddings, you know what I mean? And then, you know, you play a couple private shows a month and you're really making money, you know?
Yeah. From what I've talked to a handful of artists, mainly actually in the EDM world. Like you're the first country artist that I've heard cut through the frat, you know, scene, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've heard a lot of people kind of coming up that way, where like if you land a frat party, like I mean, that's so many people there, right? That you're getting exposed to right away.
Yeah.
So I think that's rad that you're able to do that as well.
Yeah, man. I think it's I think like the first person I ever saw do the frat party thing was John Langston, you know?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I actually opened a frat party for John Langston, like back in the day. Wow. And I knew that like Riley was doing it, and I know Muscadon did it some too, you know? Like, I mean, when I first met Charlie from Muscadon Bloodline, he was you know, they were playing some of the same gigs I was, you know what I mean? Wow. Like they were still playing covers. Like I know when they first moved to town, they were still, you know, they were doing runs of cover shows, you know, and mixing in their originals, you know, before they ever got like their booking deal or anything like that. So, you know, I feel like I don't want to say we're cut from the same cloth, but I feel like, you know, like I kind of like in a sense kind of was like trying to mirror what they did, because they were, you know, like we all came from the same area. So I was just trying to like follow kind of like that route, you know what I mean? Of like,
right.
Okay. How do I make
it? So yeah.
Like how do I make a living doing this? You know what I mean? And how do I keep my dream alive? You know, that type of thing. Yeah. So, I just did that. And then I decided to, you know, when I lived up here, I was traveling, and then I was, you know, just co-writing with people. But I'll never forget. It was this is like the story of Dick Down in Dallas. You cool with going there? Cool.
No, that's where I want to go. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
So that's eventually where this would land. I was imagining.
Yeah, I went to. I played in Auburn. We used to play at Sky Bar once a month, and you know, part of playing covers, it becomes like muscle memory. You know what I mean? And one night I was in there like singing "Big Green Tractor" by Jason Aldean. I changed the words to "Take You for a Ride" on my big tallywhacker. And this guy came up to me after, you know, like we went on set break. He was like, "Dude, that was hilarious." Like, you know, and we shook hands or whatever. Didn't think nothing of it. So I moved to Nashville, and I'm at a writer's round called Revival. It's at Tin Roof on Demonbreun Street. And I'm sitting there, and this guy walks up to me. He's like, "Dude, I met you at Sky Bar in Auburn. You were changing the words to Big Green Tractor to Big Tallywhacker. That was hilarious, dude. I'm Matt McKinney." And I was like, "Dude, I'm Trey Lewis." And me and Matt became friends that day for it. I mean, we were hanging out, playing Madden, you know, shooting shit, whatever. Yeah. And then, you know, we wrote some songs together. We were more friends more than anything. And then Matt McKinney is like that one guy that like brings different friend groups together, you know. It's like the common bond, you know. And that's kind of like how it all kind of like started for me, of like having like an actual from going from co-writing to actual having like, you know, like a friend family thing here in Nashville. And I don't know, before COVID hit, like it was going to be my best year. Like we had a lot of good shows. Like we had this residency that we do down at the beach at Flounders in Pensacola. We do like,
oh wow,
it's like, yeah, we do like we used to do like 4 weeks, 4 nights a week. It paid really good. They gave me 2 free hotels. We'd bring our families down there. It was going to be a good year for me financially, you know.
Sure.
And then the world shuts down. And I'm like, fuck, you know, look at all this money we've lost. And but it, you know, we got unemployment. I got a grant from Music Cares, like everything, you know, God provided. But I started to hang out with all my songwriting friends, you know, where usually it was just like show up, write the song. All right, I got to get down the road, you know. Well, I started like really investing in these people and spending time with them. And one day we went to Chili's or something, but me and my roommate, he's not my roommate anymore, but we're still friends. He actually works for me now.
Oh, cool.
But his name's Mitch Wallace, and he has his own like social media company. But me, him, and McKinney went to Chili's, and we were like driving back, and McKinney played this song that I'd heard before. It was called Dick Down in Dallas. And I thought it was funny, and I just said, you know what, man, like, I know you're not going to put this song out. I think it's hilarious. Nobody's, I've been putting out music since 2012 and nobody really cared. I was like, I'll do it, And then, so it became like this bonfire jam, that we're like all hanging out with friends and stuff. And Matt Burrill has a podcast called In the Round Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hey, dude, I want you to, and he has a round at Live Oak. And he was like, I want you to come to Live Oak. And I want you to, he was like, I want you to play your songs, but I want you to play Dick Down in Dallas at the end. So I show up to the round, play my songs. Then I play Dick Down in Dallas. The entire bar is singing it. And Nikki T from Raised Rowdy put a video of it on, and which I've known, Nick over at Raised Rowdy forever, because he's like premiered my music. And anyways, he takes a video of it, puts it on Facebook. And from there, like, the guy that does my social media content, his name's Trey Bonner. He put it on Caller Daddy's Facebook group. And then from there, Matt McKinney got it put on Old Row. So then I just started, posting videos on TikTok. And make a long story short, we were trying to figure out how we were going to record the song. Like, if we were going to do like more of like a Corey Smith kind of like Fuck the Popo, like acoustic type thing, or just like full production. I'm sitting in bed. I was dating this girl at the time, and I was at her house, and I get this text from Grady Saxman, which he's a drummer in town. He owns Saxman Studios, and it's where I record all my music, and a lot of other artists do too. And I get a text from Grady, and it says Dick Down in Dallas. And I was like, I called my producer Maxwell, and I was like, well, Alex, looks like we're recording this song over at Grady's. And so we went over there, and it was just me, Alex Maxwell, my producer. Grady played drums, and then Saul Littlefield played the guitar, he played the bass, and an acoustic, and we just tracked it, and it was done. But while we were in the studio, Trey Bonner took some video for me and made some content for like social media. I'll never forget, I was driving down to Huntsville to play at this Huntsville, Alabama. It's like an hour and a half from here. This place called Jefferson Street Pub. It's a 4-hour acoustic solo show, pays $250, like on a good night, you can walk out there with as much as $500 with tips. It's a cool night, for yourself. That's good money.
Yeah,
for anybody. And
sure. I mean, $500 for 4 hours. Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah. So like, I posted this video before the gig that Bonner had made for me on TikTok, and when I got done playing, it had 3 million views.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then, yeah. So that's like when it really went fucking viral. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Like, yeah. Like before then,
4 hours.
Yeah. So,
oh my God,
it was crazy, man. And then just from there, like, we had the song pre-ordered, and, the song came out, and it went it debuted at number one. You know what I mean? And it stayed at number one for like 2 or 3 weeks, And even still, like, you can go to the iTunes charts on a weekend, and you can, it'll still be on the iTunes charts. You know what I mean?
Whoa,
Like,
yeah.
it'll pop back up there. I got this, I don't know if you can see it, but it's
the Billboard Award?
The Billboard plaque.
That's so cool.
Billboard number one. But no, man, I mean, it's been cool. It's been, we played 120 shows last year because of that song. And
wow.
I mean, I did a show with Morgan. I did Morgan Wallen's first show back. And, there's nothing like 30,000 people screaming every single word to Dick Down in Dallas, we played a show up in Wisconsin, and there was this little girl on her dad's shoulder singing every word.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't really received any kind of like hate, or anything like that from the song. So I think it's just, it's a good time and song.
Mm-hmm.
We put out a lot of music this year. We put out an EP and a single.
Mm-hmm.
Last year,
right?
And then, I don't know, man, it was towards probably like near ending December. Like, the thing for me is I've always played music year round, because when you're playing covers for a living, you might take Christmas off, whatever. And then,
Mm-hmm.
then you're right back at it,
Mm-hmm.
Well, as being an artist, like there's like a December, everything kind of shuts down up here, it's like, so like there's a space, and I was like calling my manager, like, dude, what are we gonna do? Like, am I gonna have to go back to playing covers? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we got this Omnicron thing going on, and then I'm kind of freaking out just like a little bit. And I'll never forget, a few weeks ago, I was like, I left my therapist's office. I was talking to her about it. I was kind of freaking out. I looked down at my phone, and I get an email from my manager, and he's like, maybe you'll call me back after reading this. And it was about the Kid Rock tour. So,
wow. That's an insane tour. I mean, Foreigner, you have John Bonham on it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if John Bonham still plays with Foreigner. I saw Foreigner years ago. I mean, I guess it wasn't. I mean, it was long ago, maybe 2010, like at least 10 years ago. And he was the drummer for Foreigner at the time.
Yeah. So it's
I don't know if he still does that, but
yeah, I don't know.
But Kid Rock, man, I mean, that's so awesome.
It's 37 dates or 39 dates that we have on the books. I don't think all of them are announced yet, but it's
wow.
It's a lot of dates, and I'm going to be coming out during his set, singing the song, going to sing another song, and then I think me and him are going to do a song together maybe. That's kind of the gist of the information that I have right now.
Wow.
And apparently yesterday it was on the news it was on Fox News on, I don't know who the guy is. Apparently he's like real popular on Fox. It's the most watched show on Fox News, but they shared the poster with my name on it. That's and everything.
Huge.
So like, it's huge. We're getting calls right and left about shows and in between the Kid Rock tour, and stuff like that. So, and then not to mention, so that happened. And then a week there, that following Friday, I had another song go number one, single again.
Oh, that went number one too. That's the most recent one that just came out, right? This year?
It came out on January 14th. It went all genre number one and country number one. So
that is so awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah. Last August, I signed a publishing deal with Sony Publishing, and man, we're just gearing up, dude. I've been writing songs like crazy. I've been writing, 3-4 days a week, and then touring on the weekends, and just working my ass off. And I'm excited, man. We're going to put out songs every 6 weeks this year. And I'm going to the studio next week. I'm going to record 9 more songs. So,
wow.
I'm thinking probably like by next year, I'll keep putting out singles, because I think that's the way that people listen to music now. But I'll put out I'll put out singles, and then maybe just drop like 5 songs, by surprise, and then
like an EP or something.
Then go back to putting out songs, because I just have so many songs. I've written so many songs. I've got some outside songs that I'm cutting too. So I just think at this point it's volume. I rented a studio apartment downtown. I'm starting my own podcast. It's called DM Monday.
Oh, right.
We just recorded our first episode the other day, and Matt Burrill and Trey Bonner. Matt Burrill, the guy that ran the round that had me up to sing it down in Dallas, he's now my tour manager. And then Trey Bonner, he's been with me forever doing video and audio. But man, that's awesome. We got like 3 cameras in there. We got the couches. It's really cool. The team set it up really nice. But man, it's really cool. I'm really excited. It's just funny to think 2 years ago, I barely had anything going on, And it's like now I have like over 30 employees that work for me, and like, we're out here, we're just doing it, man. And it's if I write a song and I like it, I don't wait. I just go record it.
That's cool. I mean? Yeah.
It's
and
just,
I think you're right with the single game too. I mean, unless you're Adele, you can put a record out, right?
But, Adele or Morgan Wallen or, Chris Stapleton or, personally, I like listening to albums. That's my thing. You know what I mean?
Same here. But
it's 2022. People have those short attention spans. That's why TikTok works, because it's like a 15-second video. That's all you get,
You got to grab their attention in 3 seconds too, because if it's not, they're done, swiped up. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm curious, just because I did radio for a long time, like 15 years, and is Dick Down in Dallas on? Did that make radio play on country stations?
Never. Oh, it didn't. And that's why. Okay. And that's why I never signed a record deal with that song.
Okay.
We got offers from labels. We got really good offers. I don't know if they were good, but lots of money is all I'm saying.
Sure.
And I just knew that, the deal is, man, it's like, I'm 34. I didn't want to sign to a record deal and become another Wheeler Walker. I love Wheeler's music. Don't get me wrong, but that's not the kind of artist I am. You know what I mean?
Kept yourself to make your own decisions and be a little bit more.
And I would love to have songs on the radio. I just wrote this song the other day. It's an anthem. I put it on TikTok. It did pretty well, but it's an anthem. But it has no cuss words in it.
Wow.
And I was proud of myself. It's like and it's just like after Dick Down in Dallas. People on the internet are mean. And it's like. People have more positive things to say than they do negative, but sometimes you can see those negative things and just point them out, you know what I mean? And hold on to them, especially with me being an alcoholic,
Right. Yeah. There's a million positive things and you're going to do well on the one negative comment.
Exactly.
That's totally
I just think that's human nature too. I don't think it's just alcoholics, but a lot of the things that people said is that I was a one-hit wonder, and I just knew that I wasn't, And now I got 2 number ones, at least on iTunes, not radio, but who knows? Radio might not even be a thing anymore. You worked in radio for years, now you're doing podcasts. So
exactly. I was thinking, I have a 5-year-old, and I'm like, is he even gonna know what the hell a radio is? Or obviously he's not gonna care, because the Gen Zers coming up through that are like sharing your song and liking it on TikTok they're not getting in their car and putting on some radio station in town.
But now, now it's like, I got 2 number ones and nobody can ever take that away from me. That happened,
Exactly.
Did it go number one like Dick Down in Dallas did? No, I don't think that'll ever happen again. That was crazy. You know what I mean?
But it got eyes on you, and obviously your other songs resonate with people, or they wouldn't get streamed, right?
And people keep coming out to shows, and that's my thing, is like when I play shows, that are my shows, and I'll do this on the Kid Rock tours, as much as I can when I go, is that I just think, man, if you're going to buy a ticket to my show, if you're going to share my music, if you're going to, support me in any kind of way, I can shake your hand at least, or take a picture with you. So every night I don't make people pay for meet and greets or anything like that. I just, after the show, I go out to the merch table, and if you want to stand in line, we can shake hands, and I can take a picture with you and get to know you. And I think my thing is I'll do that as long as I can. You know what I mean? Like that's just the kind of dude I am. You know what I mean?
That's so cool.
I just don't think I'm not like, I love making music. I love to create. I love making people feel something that you can't get from anywhere else. You know what I mean? I think that's what music does. But I'm just a vessel for that. I'm not that cool. You know what I mean? I'm not that important. You know what I mean? I'm just normal, just like anybody else. But if it makes somebody feel, if I have the power to make somebody feel different or brighten their day, just by shaking their hand or taking the picture, like, that's me giving back. I'm just going to do it. That's so the way I look at it.
That is so cool. I only asked about the radio just because like I said, I was on the radio. So how would not only is you'd have to like bleep out half the song, but I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
you couldn't even announce it. You're like, all right, I
we
got
did.
you know,
Yeah, we
Trey
did. I
Lewis
did do
with
a. I
blank
mean,
down
I'm
in
not gonna.
Dallas.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I didn't like flirt with the idea of, that song on the radio. We did a clean version. It's like she's gone back down to Dallas, ran off to
Oh,
Raleigh. She's two-timing up in Tennessee, been all around Austin, back up to Boston, made her way around. Yeah. Praying she'll come back. I ain't even gotta ask because I already know that she's gone back down to Dallas, back down to Dallas. But anyways, we put out single again recently, and my next song that just came out, and Matt Burrell, my tour manager, he used to work in radio too, so we just been calling radio stations as an independent, and we've got it on like 10 radio stations now.
wow! Congratulations, that's
So
huge.
it's cool. It's like in all the it's all the markets that we have shows coming up in. So
Mm-hmm.
like it helps promote shows. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool. And like I've got like 4 phoners I got to do on Monday, but it's like if that helps me build relationship with radio for like maybe later on down the road when something happens, and it's just like good practice to go do those things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure,
But
for sure.
that's
You get
pretty
to be
cool,
on some
man.
morning zoo shows.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
They
I think
played
that's so
they
rad.
played my EP title track "Shut the Door" in my hometown. That was pretty cool at my hometown
Whoa,
radio station because
that is huge.
I used to do the radio shows. I would be the opener for the radio acts coming through town in my
Mhm.
hometown, and I don't know. It's just one of those full circle moments, that they were playing my song.
That's so cool. Did you have a
Yeah.
chance have you heard it when you're down there at all on the radio?
Oh yeah. We got a
Oh wow,
video of it and everything. Yeah, it's
that's
pretty cool.
cool. That is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
And
Pretty cool.
like I mean, the Kid Rock tour, yeah, a lot going on, man. And obviously all these new
Yeah.
songs coming out. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna
So
be
cool.
it's gonna be a fun year, man. But couldn't do it without the fans. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure.
And
Well, I appreciate your time. This has been awesome.
yeah,
I
man.
thank you
I
so.
appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, I actually have two questions now, but I have one
All
quick
right.
question about your podcast. What's the premise of it?
So it's gonna be just so DM Monday is a little bit that I do on my Instagram page. When Dick Down in Dallas went crazy, we would
Mm-hmm.
get insane DMs from men and women.
Mm-hmm.
And I would read them on my Instagram and share a ridiculous response. And so that's why it's called DM Monday.
Okay.
But it'll just be another avenue for my fans to get to know me and the people in my circle. And, and then I'm going to bring people on that I would like to have conversations with of how, like, say if I have an artist, on, I want to talk to them about their life
Mm-hmm.
before they were, famous. Like,
Mm-hmm.
did they play cover gigs like I did? Did they, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
touch on all that stuff. And, or, not just music people, but just, creators in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have like a 30-40 minute interview, but the rest will be us just, talking about stuff that happens on the road or,
Mm-hmm.
stuff that we got going on. So it's going to be a good time, man. It's
That's
going to be
so.
fun. It's going to be another learning experience for me, but I believe that content is king, and
Uh-huh.
it's just another way for us to generate content,
Mm-hmm.
for the people to have.
Do you know when you're gonna post that, or did you already post the first episode?
So we did our first episode, and I watched it back, and I didn't really like it. I think we need to. I think that we just need to use that as a practice and go
Little
back and
trial
do it
run.
again. Yeah, little trial
Cool.
run. Yeah, yeah.
Rad. And I guess my
Yeah.
next question or last question is if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Aspiring artists, for songwriters and artists, just do it every day, even if you suck at it. Just keep doing it because repetition is important. I sucked forever. Some days, I still feel like I suck, and like Monday and Tuesday, I wrote great songs. Yesterday, I didn't get one, and I just felt like I sucked. And it seems like every other day we're thinking about quitting, you know, and people that get that. And but just keep doing it until you can't, you know, until something happens. That's my advice. And don't ever do it to be rich or to be famous or to make money. That's my biggest thing, you know. I did this for a long time and was broke as fuck for a very long time. And I finally got to a point to where I said, if this is all I ever do, I'm okay with it. And, you know, you're going to miss, if you want to play music for a living, you know, all your friends are going to get married, you know, and have, you know, when you go home for Christmas, they're going to be talking about the 401ks and all that stuff. That ain't your turn yet, you know. And, you know, you just got to keep going. And I mean, it's worked out for me. So that's kind of like my thing is, you know, I went home for years, and my brother was, you know, both my brothers are lawyers, and, you know, my other brother works for a construction company, and he does really well for himself. And for years I was like, man, can I get some money for the plane ticket? Or like, you know what I mean? I was broke. I mean, I don't mean I was broke. I mean, I was broke AF, you know. I was still asking my mom for some money every now and then, you know, if she could help me out. And now, you know, it's like I'm able to help my family out.
That's great.
But there was a price that had to be paid, and I had to suffer for a long time. And I feel like I just threw shit at the wall forever, and then finally something stuck. So that's my advice, man, is this stuff ain't easy, but if you love it, do it with all you have, and it'll all work out.